Alright guys, so we have a test tomorrow over systems of equations, inequalities, and regular inequalities. So as promised, here is the review recorded. Make sure that you get it signed for your 5 bonus points. Keep in mind also that you do get to use your calculator and you also get to use your formula chart, so make sure you have that. Basketball player shot 70 times, so they can either make the basket, or miss the basket or make a basket. So that is going to be M plus B, miss plus basket equals 70. And remember, you can diagram the sentence. One means equals 6 plus the number of baskets. So missed equals 6 plus baskets. And then from there, you can do substitution. So you can go through and you can say 6 plus B equals 70. 6 plus 2B equals 70. So if you subtract 6 from both sides, you get 2B equals 64. So you end up with B equals 32. Remember, you can check this in the calculator. Also, be very cognizant that you're answering the question being asked because it is multiple choice, so be careful there. All right, number 2, you need to use MBLS. Where the slope, be careful looking at the scale. That is a -4/2, which is -2. The y-intercept is 24. The line is solid and the shading is below, which means that it is going to be a less than or equal to -2x plus 24. But this says standard form. Remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So we need x and y on the same side. It's a -2x, so we're going to add it. 2x plus y is less than or equal to 24. A is positive, so we're good. For number 3, we can zoom in a little bit. I have a folder and a notebook is 550. Mrs. Reisinger bought 3 folders and 4 notebooks for $19.50. So you can do substitution, you can do elimination. Again, this is talking about notebooks, so I want to get rid of F and keep N. I'm going to multiply by a -3. So I have -3F minus 3N equals -1650. And then I still have my 3F plus 4N equals 1950. So when I put those together, I get N equals $3. Marvin must sell a magazine, sell at least 40 magazines. So that's going to be greater than or equal to 40. He sold M subscriptions each day. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's a total of 4 days. So that we're going to get 4M plus Saturday. Now, that's in standard form. If they don't show it to you in standard form, maybe they wrote it in slope-intercept, which is where you move your M to the side, greater than or equal to -4M plus 40, or 40 minus 4M. Number 5, again, standard form. So you're going to need to do MBLS. Where your slope, if you count, is rise 2, run 1. Your B is 3, the line is solid, the shading is above. So since it's shaded above, that's going to be greater than, and solid is or equal to 2x plus 3. But again, standard form, so we need to put the x and the y on the same side. But remember, in standard form, we want A to be positive, and in this case, it's negative. So we're going to need to multiply the entire inequality by -1. And remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. All right, on the back here, you need to make sure you can complete this table. So we have intersecting lines, are just lines that cross. They have one solution. There are two lines that are independent of each other. And there is one solution, so that is consistent. Parallel lines will not intersect, so there are no solutions or zero solutions. There are two lines, so again, that is independent. But there is no solution, so that is inconsistent. Coinciding lines, there is just going to be one, so there are infinite solutions. There's only one line, so that is dependent, but there are solutions, so it is consistent. Number 7, the amount of money they earned after X weeks. After how many weeks will they have the same amount of money? So that is this coordinate of intersection, so at 2 weeks, they will have the same amount of money. State how many solutions are below. So if I move this up, you have lots of different methods for you to solve these. If I use, like for elimination, and I multiplied this by 2, I would get 2x plus 2y equals 6. So these are identical. That means that they are infinite solutions. Let me write that down here where there's more space. On this second one, you can also use elimination. I would multiply this by 2. So I have negative 2x plus 2y equals a negative 6. So my x's are going to cancel. My 6's are also going to cancel. So I have 5y equals 0. So y is 0 here. If I plug that back in, negative x plus 0 is negative 3. So that means x is positive 3. So my solution here is 3, 0. And it says how many are there, so that would be one solution. On this third one, I'm going to change them both to y equals and see what happens. So this bottom one, I'm going to divide everything by 8. And I get y equals 1/4 x minus 9 over 8. And on this top one, I'm going to subtract x from both sides and divide everything by a negative 4. So when I do that, I get y is equal to negative 1/4 plus 1/4 x. And you can see that the slopes are the same. So these are going to be parallel, so there's going to be no solutions. None or no solution, because they are parallel. So I'm hoping you're feeling pretty good about that page. On the next page, which of the following is a solution? So on this, you simply need to plug and chug. But it has to work for both. And the only one that it does that for is D. 10 tickets for school play, $3 for students, 6 for adults. At least means greater than or equal to $450 in sales. I'm going to put a dollar sign there so I know the rest of that inequality needs to be money. The auditorium has 120 seats, so we can sit exactly 120 or less. The types of seats we have are adult, which are X, plus children, which is Y. And money-wise, we have 6X plus 3Y. Again, on B, you're just going to plug in to see which works, and it is this one. That's the only coordinate pair that makes both of those inequalities true. On number 11, you're going to need to do MBLS for both of these. And be careful when you're writing or when you're looking at your answers on the test so that you don't mix up a symbol or such. So the slope, I'm going to do the solid line first. It is shaded below. The y-intercept is 4. And if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is negative. So y is less than or equal to negative 4/5 x plus 4. And then on the second one, it is a dotted line, and it is shaded above. The y-intercept is negative 2, and the slope is rise 2, run 1. So I have y is greater than 2x minus 2. Which ordered pair, sorry about that, represents a solution? So again, you're going to plug it in. And on yours, B said 825, and I had changed it. So the solution is actually 111. You could also go through on this one. I'm going to write it over here on the side. You could go through and you could solve the equation, which would be an easier method, as I'm sure. So I could say 2x minus y, negative 9, 4x minus y equals negative 7. So if I wanted my y's to eliminate, I could multiply this by a negative 1. Negative 4x plus y equals positive 7. So these are going to go. I have negative 2x, I have negative 9, and a positive 7 is negative 2. So x is a positive 1. And then I could plug that into either. So I'll plug it into the first one. 2 times 1 minus y equals negative 9. So I'm going to minus 2 from both sides. Negative y equals negative 11, which means that y is positive 11. 13, you need to figure out how far they can go. If it's 17 miles per gallon and they have 15 gallons, that means they can go 255 miles. So whatever Mary drives plus whatever Martha drives needs to be less than or exactly 255 miles. Otherwise, they will run out of gas. On the last page, change this to slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So we're going to move the x over and divide by the big B. When you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So now it is y is greater than or equal to positive 1/4 x plus 2. Graph these systems. So again, change it to slope-intercept so you can graph it. You're dividing by a negative. Be careful, flip your sign. That's a very, very big mistake that some people are making. Over here we can just minus x, so I've got negative 3 is my y-intercept. I can rise 2, run 1. It's going to be a dotted line. We're going to shade below. This one I'm going to go up to positive 4. I'm going to go down 1 over 1. Solid line. And this one is going to be shaded above. So my overlap is right here, and this is where my solution will be. To learn to fly a plane, 50 hours in training. So we can do training with the instructor or in the simulator for 50 hours. We can spend $98 an hour on the instructor, $46 an hour on the simulator for $34.96. So you can do a couple of different things here. I did substitution where I said, okay, I plus S equals 50. and I went ahead and I solved for I, so I said minus S. And I put that in place on the second one, so I said 98. Instead of I put 50 minus S, and then I still had 46S is 3496. And then I distributed, and I got 4,900 minus 98S plus 46S. And remember, you're going to have a calculator. So we're going to minus 4,900 from both sides. I'm going to collect like terms. So negative 98S and a positive 46 is a negative 52 in the simulator. 3496 minus 4,900, negative 1404 divided by negative 52. So we get S equals 27. And then you just need to plug that back in to one of your originals. I chose the first one, so I said I plus 27 equals 50. So when I minus 27 from 50, I get 23. So instructor is 23 hours, simulator is 27. Is the ordered pair a solution? Yes, it is. You can simply plug it in. 3 times negative 1 plus 2. That's going to be 1, which is less than 3. And we put over here 2 plus 2 greater than or equal to 3 times negative 1. 4 is greater than negative 3. So yes, because it works for both. Remember, if it's a solution, it has to work for both. If we graph this, we're going to have to change this first equation into y equals minus 2x divided by 5. So I get y equals 3 over 5 minus 2 over 5x. And then I have my second one already. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to flip-flop so that my slopes line up. 2/5 x. Notice the slopes are the same. That means these are parallel because the same slope. So that means the question is, what would be the solution? So there is no solution. And the last one, remember that perimeter is 2L plus 2W. It says the length is, remember is equals 10 more than twice the width. Good luck, study. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.